Who will be the wealthiest women on the planet in the year 2022? There are a total of 239 women on this year's list of the world's billionaires, according to the ranking that was published by Forbes. These women hail from different regions of the world and different industries, including mining, real estate, finance, pharmaceutical, and other fields. But out of this extensive list of women who have made a lot of money, let's find out who made it into the top 10. Who are the wealthiest women on this list, which includes both heiresses and self-made magnates? And how did they get to the point where they are considered worthy of the coveted title of billionaire? When compared to the tax on income, the rate at which wealth is levied is obviously much too low, and those among us who are wealthiest have the government to thank for this. The House of Representatives increased the value of the exemption for the estate tax just 2 years ago, making it possible for wealthy individuals to conceal enormous sums of money from the prying eyes of the federal government. The lack of diversity on the list of the richest women in the world is another telling aspect of the list of the richest women in the world. There is only one person of Asian descent who made it onto the list. The remaining members are all white and hail from Western regions. Discussions about the distribution of wealth in a globalized economy are rendered moot as a result of this fact. 101 of the women who made it onto this year's list of the world's billionaires did so on their own, as opposed to inheriting their wealth. This means that they either founded or co-founded a company or established their own fortune. Before we continue our video, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more updates and amazing content. The top 10 wealthiest women in the world in 2022 are as follows. Let's get started. Number 10. Iris Fontbona, Chile, $14.5 billion. Iris Fontbona is known as the Queen of Chile's mining industry and the matriarch of the richest family in the country. The majority of Iris Fontbona's wealth comes from the copper mining company Antofagasta, which she inherited from her late husband, Andronico Luksic, who also founded what has become one of the largest copper mining businesses in the world. Antofagasta was the company that Iris Fontbona inherited from her late. However, mining is not the only industry that Iris is in charge of. She is also in charge of the other large businesses that fall under the Luksic Group. These businesses include a shipping company, a brewery, and a banking institution. Number 9. Gina Rinehart, Australia, $15.5 billion. Gina Rinehart is another mining magnate currently active in the world. The iron or mining corporation that was initially established by her father, Lang Hancock, is the primary focus of her professional activities. Gina, on the other hand, does not have the typical heiress story, and she does not want to be called an heiress. She is not an heiress because she did not inherit her father's wealth, but she did inherit her father's responsibilities. Gina was left with a business that was on the verge of bankruptcy after the passing of her father in 1992. However, she was able to successfully turn the business's fate around and avoid going bankrupt. Gina is a self-made billionaire in her own eyes, as well as in the eyes of those who are familiar with her and her story. She was forced to deal with a terrible financial situation, but she made the best of it. Gina was ranked as the 9th richest woman in the world this year, 20 years after being named the richest woman in the world when she took over Hancock Prospecting. In 2012, she was ranked as the richest woman in the world. As she continues to expand her business and travel the world in her $80 million private jet, she does not currently have any plans to stop anytime in the near future. During the hearing in October 2013, Rinehart resigned from his position as trustee. In contrast to Rinehart's attorneys, who later declared all legal concerns to be resolved, John and Bianca's attorneys moved forward with a trial in the NSW Supreme Court to address claims of wrongdoing. On May 28, 2015, the court issued its ruling, in which Bianca was chosen to serve as the new trustee. Number 8. Charlene de Carvalho, Heineken, the Netherlands, $15.8 billion. After the death in 2002 of Freddie Heineken, the former CEO of Heineken International and the sole heiress to the Heineken fortune, the sole heiress to the Heineken fortune inherited a 25% stake in the world's second-largest brewing company, Heineken International. In spite of the fact that she was her father's only child, Charlene did not play an active role in the business that he ran. In the past, she had only one share of the company, which was worth $32 in total. She decided to pursue a more sedate lifestyle by enrolling in law school and relocating to London with her husband and children rather than getting involved in the family business and learning the ropes. Within a week of her father's passing, Charlene was put on the spot by her husband and made the life-changing decision of taking over a quarter of Heineken International shares, trading her quiet days in London for the demanding life of a businesswoman, traveling to various parts of the world to explore the empire her father left behind in order to make herself a worthy successor. Charlene's life changed drastically as a result of her decision to take over a quarter of Heineken International shares. She is currently the wealthiest entrepreneur in the Netherlands thanks to her position as the executive director of Heineken International, a position she has held unchallenged for a number of years. Number 7. Abigail Johnson, United States. $16.9 billion. Abigail Johnson, who was born in Boston, Massachusetts, is regarded as the most powerful woman in the field of finance. She achieved this status after becoming the chairperson of Fidelity Investments, which is ranked among the top 3 financial services companies in the United States. Johnson is a trailblazer who has broken many traditions along the way. To inherit a fortune that is worth trillions of dollars in asset, however, is not an easy task. This is especially true for Abby, who had to break into a field that is traditionally dominated by men and establish a name for herself, both of which she was successful in doing. Not only does Abby's success serve as evidence that a woman can compete successfully in a male-dominated industry, but she also makes use of her position to recruit more women into the finance and investment management business. She does this by actively recruiting female workers and by fostering an environment within her company that is welcoming to female employees who are interested in pursuing successful careers in the finance industry. Johnson has held positions on the boards of the Securities Industry and Financial Markets Association, SIFMA, MIT, and the Committee on Capital Markets Regulation. On the board of the Financial Services Forum, she is the first and only female member. Number 6. Suzanne Klatten, Germany. $19.6 billion. The German-born businesswoman who is now 56 years old and the mother of 3 children owns more than 19% of BMW, the company that is the largest producer of luxury automobiles in the world and which also owns the Mini Cooper Marquis and the Rolls-Royce brand. However, Suzanne is only the second largest shareholder in the company, and her brother, Stefan Quandt, who owns more than 23% of the business, is the largest shareholder. Helge Russak Skarby, a 44-year-old Swiss national who threatened to publish materials showing the two having an affair, blackmailed Klatten in 2007. Skarby, who was accused of using similar extortion tactics on other women, was apprehended in January 2009 and hauled before a German court, where he was given a 6-year prison term. His accomplice, the Italian hotel owner Ernano Beretta, who was accused of using covert cameras to film Skarby and Klatten, was also apprehended and received a 7-year prison term in 2012. The success of Suzanne's ventures as an entrepreneur are unrelated to those of her family's primary enterprise. Her grandfather established Altana AG, a pharmaceutical company, and over the course of her career, she has brought it to the level of excellence that is characteristic of the best in the world. Altana AG is said to bring in approximately $2.5 million in revenue annually, and she continues to serve as the company's chairman and sole owner. Number 5. Laurene Powell Jobs, United States. $20.6 billion. Laurene Jobs had always lived in the shadow of her late husband, Steve Jobs, and she preferred it that way up until the year 2011. When he passed away after a courageous fight against cancer. Laurene was left with a high-profile fortune that was tied to her name after her husband passed away suddenly at the age of 56. This was a fortune that she had to take care of while simultaneously grieving the loss of her husband, becoming a sole parent to their children, and coping with the spotlight, which she would have preferred to avoid. Unbeknownst to the majority of people, Laurene has made a name for herself as a philanthropist. The Emerson Collective, an organization with its headquarters in Silicon Valley, California, and a primary mission of promoting social reform, is the most notable of her many charitable endeavors. Even one of her 10 hires in 2010 was unaware of who the Emerson who owned the company was. The organization was established in 2004 and operated in a low-key manner. In fact, it operated in such a way that it was so low-key. To fast forward to the present, Lorraine's net worth may still be primarily defined by the money from the company that her late husband founded, but she is also making a name for herself through the charitable work that she does. Number 4. Yang Huiyan, China. $22.4 billion. This year, Yang has achieved a great deal of success, including turning 37 years old and earning $2 billion in just the first 4 trading days of 2018. She has also maintained her position as the wealthiest woman in China for the past 6 years in a row. It should not come as a surprise to anyone that she holds 57% of the company's shares and serves as vice chairman of Country Garden Holdings, an organization that is engaged in the business of real estate development. In 2007, Yang's father, Yang Guoqiang, transferred 70% of the family business to her name, making her not only one of the company's major shareholders but also China's wealthiest individual at the young age of 25. This marked the beginning of Yang's ascent to the top of the list of the wealthiest individuals in China. However, the Chinese heiress's fortune is not based on the real estate business that her family has been in for generations. Number 3. Jacqueline Mars, United States. $27 billion. As the heiress to Mars Inc., the largest confectioner in the world, Jacqueline Mars enjoys a life that is quite literally filled with sugary treats. At the moment, she owns roughly 1/3 of the company, which is approximately the same percentage that her brother owns in the business. Mars is an heir to a world-famous candy corporation, but he is also an active philanthropist and the owner of some of the best eventing horses in the United States. In addition to this, Mars is an owner of some of the top eventing horses in the United States. The Mars family established and runs Mars Incorporated, and Mars is an heiress who has stock in the business. Her family's holdings in Mars Inc. and other assets were valued at $23.5 billion by Forbes magazine in January 2019, making her the 18th richest American and number 34 on their list of the world's billionaires. Since 1982, when she joined the firm as president of the food product group, Mars has actively participated in Mars Inc. 2001 saw her retirement. Number 2. Alice Walton, United States. $46.4 billion. Even though she is the youngest child and only daughter of Walmart founder Sam Walton, Alice Walton may not be as focused on the family's business as her brothers Rob and Jim are. That does not mean that she does not earn a dime or billions of dollars from it. To her credit, Alice holds the position of co-manager at Walton Enterprises, which is one of the holding companies owned by the Walton family and is responsible for 50% of Walmart's most profitable retailer. Alice's personal collection, which is said to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars in values, and the Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art, which she opened in 2011 in her hometown of Bentonville, Arkansas, are both testaments to the fact that art is her true passion. Both institutions can be found in Bentonville, Arkansas. Walton has been in numerous car accidents, one of which was fatal. During a 1983 Thanksgiving family reunion near Acapulco, she lost control of a rented Jeep and slid into a ravine, breaking her leg. She had more than 24 surgery after being taken out of Mexico, and she continues to experience discomfort from her wounds. She struck and killed Oleta Hardin, 50, who had stepped onto a road in Fayetteville, Arkansas, in April 1989. She struck a gas meter in 1998 while driving while intoxicated. She made a $925 payment. In the 2004 U.S. presidential election, Alice Walton contributed $2.6 million to the right-leaning Progress for America organization, placing her as the 20th greatest individual donor to 527 committees. Walton had given $200,000 to Restore Our Future, the super PAC connected to Mitt Romney's presidential campaign, as of January 2012. Alice gave the Hillary Victory Fund, a combined fundraising group for Clinton and other Democrats, $353, $400 in 2016. Number 1. Françoise Bettencourt, Myers, France. $53.2 billion. After the passing of her mother in 2017, Françoise was already playing a significant role in the management of the family's wealth as the head of the family's investment company and as the president of the Bettencourt Schuler Foundation. This was before she was officially recognized as the owner of the $107.5 billion stake in L'Oreal that had been in her mother's name. The challenge that she faces is trying to live up to the standards set by her mother. Nevertheless, despite the fact that the late Lillian Bettencourt held the title of wealthiest woman in the world up until the day she passed away, Françoise is able to maintain her position as the wealthiest woman in the world as she takes the top spot on this year's list of the world's richest women. Françoise is an accomplished author of works on Greek mythology as well as literature that focuses on Jewish-Christian relations. In addition to being the heiress to the fortune left by the cosmetics giant, she is also the owner of the company. The cathedral needed $226 million in repairs after a fire severely damaged Notre Dame de Paris, according to Bettencourt Meyers and L'Oréal's guarantee. With an estimated net worth of $94.9 billion as of January 2022, she is the richest woman in the world, according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. So which woman inspired you the most? Share with us in the comments below. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel to enjoy more content like this. If you want to hear from us often, then hit that bell icon. Thanks for watching.